And we're delighted, Thom, to have you here tonight to hear your insights about Al-Qaeda and about terrorism. So thank you very much for being here. And give a big round of applause to Thom Shanker.
9/11, as you'll recall, was a horrible, terrible, catastrophic day for our country. And the response was a very understandable focus on capture and kill. Understandable, but clumsy, and at the end of the day, counterproductive. You simply cannot kill your way to victory against militant, violent, religious extremists. Terrorists, of course, it was believed, held nothing dear, held no territory, and there were never fingerprints. So one of the greatest evolutions in thinking in counterterrorism came when these planners identified virtual territory, not pieces of turf, not land, but virtual territory that the terrorists have to do all the bad stuff they do, and things that are important to them. I mean, success is really important to terrorists. And so if you can put up enough walls to make the terrorists think they might not succeed, they won't even try. Terrorists are a network. They operate like a corporation with franchises. There's leadership, they have HR, they have fundraisers, they have people who make the bombs. And while an Osama bin Laden is not deterrable, and while a young jihadi who believes he has nothing left to live for can strap on a suicide vest, he's not deterrable. But many of these people in the middle really are. They want to support extremism, but they're not ready to go to whatever earthly reward they believe in. And so you can affect the gun runners, the bomb makers, and especially the financiers. What the terrorists have learned to do to get around the NSA listening is they log on at prearranged times to these Wii and Xbox gaming sessions. And so they communicate and plan and execute command and control using the same vernacular that our teenagers use, because what are most of those games about? Rock 'em, sock 'em, blow 'em up stuff. So they are really a learning adversary in a most incredible way. Another interesting thing in cyberspace, Al-Qaeda, because it's a corporation or works on that model, puts its official communiques online, but with web watermarks to show its veracity. Well, military officers have learned how to forge those watermarks, and so they're now posting Al-Qaeda decrees that they've written that are kind of crazy and spun around to sort of sow confusion and dissent in the ranks. Yes, bin Laden is dead, but the brand is untarnished. Young men with no hope, no education, still look to Al-Qaeda as a way to empowerment in their future. Al-Qaeda Central still wants a weapon of mass destruction, or at least a weapon of mass effect. Terrorism only ends when, at the millennial stage, the root causes that make young men become terrorists, poverty of economics, poverty of hope, lack of opportunity, until those can be reduced and eliminated. But more importantly, there has to be an internal discussion within the Muslim world that disavows violent extremism in its name. Just like the Soviet Union collapsed internally, although what the US and the Allies did was important, it was only the internal discussion that finally brought about the collapse of that enemy. Only the internal debate in the Muslim world can end violent extremism there. And finally, I have to say this nation needs to adopt a quality of resilience. And I don't just mean infrastructure resilience of rebuilding, but a resilience of spirit, so that after the next attack, like the Israelis, who reopened the markets after a bombing, like in the UK, the citizens of London who got back on the tube the day after the 2007 attacks. And if you look around Oklahoma City, my hometown, our town today, and look at the incredible growth and rejuvenation of culture, of education, and of sports, there's no better way to tell Timothy McVeigh that he failed than the incredible vibrancy of Oklahoma City today. And that should be a lesson not just to our nation, but to the entire world.